What's going on, my friends? Welcome on out to Behind the Energy podcast, where we dive into behind the scenes of DJing, entrepreneurship, and all the excitement in between. We got some friends, some cool people joining us, and a lot of fun stories. So without further ado, let's jump into Behind the Energy podcast. There it is.
There we go. Love that.
There it is. There it is, baby.
Woohoo!
Jordan, we're doing this.
We're here.
Party people, listeners, and YouTube world people. Welcome on out to season 2 of Behind the Energy podcast. My name is Parker Andriese. I'm the host of the show. And we got my boy J Baby Johnson, Jordan Johnson, hashtag DJ Scruffy.
That's me.
In the house right now. Big shout out, thank you to everyone who's listened to season 1. And we're kicking it off for season 2 in my boy Nick Nord's studio. And we're doing a little video this time. So hopefully you enjoy. To kick off the season, Jordy's in the house, and he's been a good homie for a hot minute. And he's going to be drilling me with some questions to give a little perspective to me, just being the host of the show. If you're a new listener, maybe just connect a few dots or put a more clear picture for you, and as we dive into season 2. So, Jordy, anything you'd like to share before we jump into a homie?
I mean, I first off, excuse my voice right now, a little under the weather. But I'm stoked to be here, dude. We've been planning this one for a while, just kind of trying to line up this specific event, being here right now. And so I'm just stoked to finally be here with all this new equipment and everything like that. And so it's, the YouTube world, the podcast world can, just fasten your seatbelts, because things are going to get rowdy here for real quick. But
it's been a minute. It's like, I think this is like the third scheduled date. We're getting the backdrop, getting the camera and the lights and whatnot. But we're here.
We're a professional studio. We can film just about anything now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. But
well, Jordy, let's jump into
ready to dive into it.
Yeah. Drill me with some questions.
Dang. So Parker Andriese, just tell me about you. I feel let me rephrase it in a different way. You have many friends here in Utah. Anywhere I feel like between St. George to Ogden. There's people who know who DJ Alive is. So let's get a little introduction about you.
Mm-hmm. I've been blessed to have a lot of friends and like be in different communities. Through the University of Utah, through the Lausanne Institute, Sigma Chi, the DJ community, and like my day one homies and my family and whatnot. But my name is Parker, and Jordan, you probably know me better than most people on this planet, but I am a college student, graduate in 2 weeks.
Let's go,
from
dude.
the U.
Congratulations.
And it's a long time coming, bro. Nick, remember those days, sleepovers in Lausanne? But yeah, I'm Parker. I'm a U student. I been DJing now almost 10 years, and go by the name DJ Alive on the Wheels of Steel, and owner of Alive Entertainment, and host of Behind the Energy podcast.
There we go.
So
I love it.
That's what's up.
You mentioned 10 years of DJing. How does that feel?
Almost.
Just about. Tell me a little bit about that. How does that feel to think back that it's been almost 10 years that you've been doing this?
It's weird. It's wild. It doesn't feel like that, because the first year, 2 years of like growing and like trying to figure stuff out was probably some of the most fun times, and the most memorable times.
Totally.
And I think I talked about this in another episode, but if I'm being honest, like when I first started spinning, I had different intentions from where I'm at now. Like,
yeah.
I wanted to be Steve Aoki.
Yeah.
And I wanted to throw the craziest parties in Utah. It's a little different, but we still got some big dreams and goals in the years ahead. So
that's right. Tell me about the first ever event you remember DJing and kind of some of those events. I mean, I'm going to target a couple events specifically, but tell me about the first event you remember DJing.
Yes. I don't know if you'd really technically call it DJing, but it was the end of my sophomore year. Yeah, sophomore year. Had saved up money and got a loan for my first set of speakers, and we were at my friend Kyle Orman's basement. Shout out to all the homies. And it's just an unfinished big basement, and I set up, my speakers, my lights, and I didn't even have like a controller or turntables or anything to mix on. It was virtual DJ on my HP, and I didn't have an input for a microphone. I had got my dad's guitar amp that had a 1/4-inch input for a mic. So I had two separate systems, and I remember like within the hour or so, like it started popping off, and there were seniors, like we're sophomores, and there's seniors at the party on the dance floor. Like that was some crazy stuff at the time. But I remember the first time I actually got on the mic, like as an MC, realizing how dull I sounded, and realized how in which I choose to interject and what time, and the energy and the enthusiasm really matters.
Sure.
And so when I'm talking on this crappy mic in the guitar amp, like over the sound system that's playing, I just like, wow, that was so weak. Like that sucked. Like I got a lot of work to do. And that same night, like I realized the power of choosing when to play songs. Like I truly remember Shots by LMFAO. Like
that's classic.
That was like the height of that song at the time. And Teach Me How to Dougie was also like really popular. Two really popular songs at the time, but completely different energies. And so so I remember like playing those two back to back, but realizing how it didn't work as well as it could have, because there could have been a better time or a way to transition rather than a crossfader and an effect on my laptop. But
sure.
That was the first event, and those day one friends who were with me there are still with me, and I'm super grateful.
Right.
So
with that, let's touch on a few milestones, if you will. So started off in an unfinished basement, then moved to Planet Play.
Yes.
Right. And then, there's been school dances and weddings on top of that, and now you're getting into the club scene more consistently, it seems. Let's talk about that. Tell the story briefly about that progression there.
Okay. When I started, I wrote this. I'll have to show you this business plan on my Word document, or I think it's like Publisher or something.
Yeah. To
my parents to like work out this a co-sign loan for the sound system, but really my thoughts going into it is that I want to throw parties. I wasn't intending to do a lot of private events. I wanted to throw parties.
Right.
That's where the fun was. As a 16, 17-year-old kid with very little income, I was really limited, and I didn't know about sound ordinance and licensing and capacity, and just didn't have much room to make traction there. So it quickly accelerated to like friends' sweet 16s and friends of friends' birthdays, and that led to like a church dance, which then opened the door to high school dances. First high school dance that we DJ'd was Alta, and I was a senior in high school at the time, and we had gotten that gig from the church dance.
Okay.
Like, there were students from Alta. They're like, "Yo, this DJ's sick. You need to come do our school dances." I'm like, "Consider it done."
Sure.
And at the time we weren't a licensed business. I didn't know what a EIN, employee identification number, was. I didn't know what a W-9 was. Like, hey, yeah, fill out this W-9 and we'll get you your payment and send us an invoice. Like, what is that? I didn't know what it was. But luckily, the administration and student government advisors, Mr. Packer, if for some reason you're watching this, I love and appreciate you, and know that you've opened a lot of doors. But it led to one high school, and that just spread, and I started picking up traction doing weddings. And my senior year in high school is when we did throw some parties, and that was Planet Play.
Right.
That was at the Megaplex. We did some one-off stuff as well, and that's stuff we talked about in previous episodes. So if you want to take a listen, jump back there. But throwing parties for high schoolers as a high school student, and yeah, there's a lot of fun details there, but we don't need to dive into that. But I guess in recent years, it's been a heavy focus on, not recent years, 2016, 17, like that was when I got into spinning on turntables.
Yeah.
On the vinyls, and that's when I put a lot more time into, I guess you could say, practicing the technical skills of mixing. And that also came with investing in new equipment, and beginning to identify the brand a bit more, and identify our ideal clients, and really working to refine the I guess you could say the systems and the standards that we've got. And shoot, I'm trying to think when we had Devin on.
Devin would have been 2018, 19 is right when that started, I would say.
Picked up?
Because that was right when I got home from my church mission.
Okay, yeah.
I remember that going on, of you telling me that you were wanting to bring on another DJ, you're wanting to, that you were thinking about Devin. Just, I mean, Devin's an all-star. You know, he's been on the podcast before, and just stellar. And so I remember right around that time, end of 2017, beginning of 2018, I believe it was.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I need to mark these milestones, because when we look back 5 years from now, it's going to be super sick, super sick. But
totally,
yeah, around that time is when we started, I guess, broadening our perspective of how we could grow a live entertainment, and that's when my friend Dev, a very excellent DJ, joined Team Alive, and then we did some coaching with another DJ, and also we've got Argus on the team.
That's
too,
right.
And had a lot of awesome assistants on the team as well for larger events. That's really where our friendship kicked off.
That's right. Ironically enough, an Alta high school dance too. So
yes,
it's all coming together with Alta there.
Alta gang.
That's right.
Next episode, we're going to be diving into some of those fun details.
That's right, man. Got some good stuff.
Going down memory lane. But that's where we're at. That's kind of like a quick overview of really, I guess, the growth of Alive, and where the team's at right now. And so,
got a portfolio, Parker. You know, it started. You know, it's started from the bottom now here, you know, but
add me on LinkedIn.
We're still growing. We're still growing, man. But the reason I asked that question is just to kind of give the viewers and listeners some perspective of, you know, kind of who you are, you know, where it started and where it's at, and where, you know, I mean, I'm sure in coming episodes where it's, you know, they'll be able to see where it's going. But remind me, what year was it that you started DJing? Like that, it was like, I'm a DJ.
2012, technically.
Okay.
But if I'm being honest, like when I first started, I didn't see myself as a DJ. Yes, I was curating playlists and picking the songs, but like I was literally playing off my laptop for the first almost a year.
Yeah.
But the company at the time, it was called Alive Mobile DJ. Like I didn't necessarily see myself as a DJ. It was just Alive Mobile DJ. That was the name. And people started calling me DJ Alive as we started throwing these parties. I'm like, hey, that's pretty dope. Mixing sounds fun. Let's ride this wave.
Sure.
And that's what 2012, 2013 looked like at the time.
I love it.
So
did you have like an inspiration or some sort of like motivator to get you into DJing?
Yes and no. Yes. Okay. Yes. Growing up, I've always been doing like entrepreneurial type things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you knew this, but I actually started like a skate team.
I remember you telling me you would record yourself skateboarding and like post it to YouTube.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a specific like skate team though.
Dude, if I find those videos, you will be one of the only few that can watch them. They're terrible.
Oh, I can't wait.
Braces and long hair.
Oh, dude, we all went through it.
My was it like not a Hurley, a Quicksilver jacket or something?
Oh my goodness, it was. I mean, you and I both have skate history. Yours is a lot more profound than mine, but I'm sure that jacket was the same jacket you wore every single day because you got it from some dope skate shop here in Utah, maybe, or something like. At least that's how it was for me. I don't know. I just felt like freaking sick when I was doing it.
It was the Crew pants is what I wore almost every single day.
Dude, Crew was a poppin' brand, bro.
They were expensive.
Yeah.
And they were the only skinny jeans I wore or I had, and they had like buttons right here, and so yeah, I wore those every single day. But sorry, skateboarding brand.
No, yeah, sorry, we're getting off track. That's okay.
In elementary, I started this skateboarding team with like my neighborhood friends. It's called Extreme Skateboarding. I drew a logo and I got shirts printed and everything, like the iron-on things. I mean, back in 3rd or 4th grade, had this kiosk that I would wheel to the bus stop when I was off track or on the weekends, and the hot ticket items we sold were Fun Dips and the 3-foot-long pixie sticks and the spray candies. And middle school, 1 year in elementary and another in middle school, had actually built 3 haunted houses in our basement. I wish you could have been there for that, bro.
I've heard about them. I've seen the pictures and the banner and everything, dude. That was an era for sure.
It was like I mean, it was years ago, but dude, like I would be down there for hours by myself, and sometimes my dad come down and help me out. The neighborhood homies. But yeah, built haunted houses, and we had this big unfinished basement, and we promote it in school. Like I get on the school intercom and put a bunch of flyers over the walls. I got in trouble for that later. But okay. I had these fog machines and black lights and strobe lights, and come time to do my Sweet 16, I'm like, yo, this electronic music's sick. Like, what if we had a dance party in the basement? So we painted all the walls white and neon, and I went to Guitar Center and bought a $130 mushroom light. And as a 16-year-old, like, this is so much freaking money. And it's the simplest light you can buy, but it's the sickest thing ever. And so anyways, back to your question, though, sidetrack.
That's okay.
A lot of, I guess, my younger days growing up, I was always just doing like entrepreneurial things, creative things, building things, and I always had this like knowing for myself that I'm going to be working for myself. I love working with people and teams, and have had a lot of opportunities to do that in more formal settings, but I liked doing my own thing, and I'm a big, I guess you could say, advocate for experiencing the most out of life and doing what makes you genuinely happy and and fulfilled, and so that's a big driver, and has been and still is a very big driver for starting. And then around the time high school, like 14, 15, 16 year old Parker, that's when I started listening to Mac Miller quite a bit, as you know.
Of course.
I mean, we went and saw him together.
We went and met him. We met him, dude.
But Mac, believe it or not, was a very big inspiration behind growing DJ Alive. from doing his own thing and having no shame and being creative and constantly just putting out fire, killer work. Like being this young guy. I mean, I think he's like three years older than me. He passed away at 26, so my age.
Right.
And so being this young punk skateboarder kid, seeing Mac do his thing, like that was super motivating.
That was sweet.
So, yeah.
No, definitely. Mac was, you know, a little moment of remembrance about him. But I mean, that, you know, if you know Parker, you know that he likes Mac Miller. Like, I frequently will, I mean, it happened, maybe it was over the summer. I had a question about Mac Miller, and we were with a group of people, and I was just like, you know, Parker, did Mac ever do this? Like, what was the story behind? And Parker just like that could like pull off information about Mac like it's nothing. And so it's if anybody knows about Mac Miller, it's Parker Andriese. So
it was an unhealthy obsession. like you were, Jordy, you came in my life like near the tail end of that stuff. But like probably junior, senior year, like it was.
Parker had bad, this it was like a cardboard cutout of Mac Miller in his room. I remember that, and first time, right when Parker and I first started hanging out, I walked in and saw this Mac Miller cutout, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna be good friends. Like, knew it from there. But
sorry, fun side story. So my girlfriend at the time wanted to surprise me with a really cool birthday gift, and it was a custom blanket of Mac Miller on it. And she needed to get the image for it, and so she had to print that out. And I'm like, hey, I want to keep that. So that's where that came from.
Yeah, no, that was sweet. Yeah. I mean, it looked good too. It wasn't like pixelated or anything. So, So Parker, tell me about the evolution of your name, DJ Live. Like, how did you decide on that? How did that come about? Just tell me about that.
I'm immediately like transported to my art class in high school. As I was brainstorming ideas of like how is my DJ business going to stand out from others? How is it going to be different? What's going to make it unique? And I'd gone to very few parties as a 15-year-old kid. But I remember going to somewhere the DJ there wasn't a DJ, or like the one playing music, there just wasn't much hype or intention behind it. And I'm like, dude, there's so much potential or opportunity. I was sitting in my art class, and I was literally just brainstorming ideas, like what is it going to be?
Yeah.
What is it going to be? And I remember saying to myself, I want to make the party come alive. Like literally just in my head very clearly. And at the time, you had your headphones in all the time.
Of course.
You know how it goes.
Of course. Yeah, your skull candies.
We talked about this. And I was listening to a song called Alive by Kid Cudi. And I thought that was like a really weird coincidence. Maybe it was something in my subconscious, but I thought it was really cool. So I continued to lean into that and kind of dig further down that thought path. And I started thinking, what does it mean to be alive? What does aliveness feel like? What is the opposite of alive? And that's where my brain went, well, if you're not alive, you're dead.
Yeah.
And then if you're dead, you're going to die. You're probably at the hospital.
Right.
And maybe think of those heart rate monitors, the EKG readings, where there's that heartbeat. And I was literally just in art class, just sketching stuff out. I could show you the drawings because I still have them. And I incorporated that heartbeat into the A of alive.
Yeah.
And it was a live mobile DJ. And I was drawing stuff out, messing around on like Word Publisher, trying to come up with a sick logo or whatever.
Yeah.
And told my grandpa about it, who's a very talented artist. And he took the idea and just took it upon himself to start creating different logos and artwork. And he came up with the first official logo of a live mobile DJ, that electric blue with that very clear heartbeat. And then it slowly transitioned to DJ live instead of a live mobile DJ. And that's
how it all started.
That's where Alive came from.
So we kind of talked briefly a minute ago about the early days of DJ Alive. But what did those, in your own words, what did those early days look like?
Honestly, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you get older, there's more responsibilities and, running numbers and taxes and contracts and sales and all that stuff. But when I was 16, 17, 18, like, none of that crossed my mind.
Right.
It was literally just partying with my friends.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff we DJ was for people our age. And so it was, I'm not saying I'm not having fun now, don't get me wrong. It just was a different kind of fun because I was naive and was less timid about trying something new. I got nothing to lose, or I don't know if I have anything I'm going to lose.
So it was just, all gas back then.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Dangerously caffeinated.
Yes, there we go. The fuel was the Red Bull or the Mountain Dew. Yeah.
Sometimes I don't see how Red Bull didn't pick us up for a sponsorship. I mean, those were the days, man.
They missed out, bro.
You mentioned a minute ago, and you mentioned a minute ago that you're about to graduate from college.
Yep.
So, how did college make its way into your DJ career?
Long story short, I was really closed-minded to school. I've never been great in class. I feel like I got to put a lot more effort to retain information and really, I guess, absorb that well. And so I was not down for school. When I was in 8th grade, I'm like, I'm not going to college.
No.
I guess be on every science question in the ACT, and I intentionally fell asleep. Like, I was not going to school. I knew I was going to be a creator or an entrepreneur in some way, shape, or form. Well, a year or so after graduating, an amazing friend of mine, Mohan, whom of which I am so grateful for and think incredibly highly of, was like, hey, Parker, you need to go to the U. There's this entrepreneur program. I think you'd absolutely love it. It's like Lassonde or something. And thinking highly of Mohan, I'm like, okay, I'll look into this. So I got on my laptop and looked into this entrepreneur program at the U, and I guess you could say was absolutely blown away by what I was researching at 1 a.m. They were opening this brand new living learning community called Lassonde Studios, and really it's a hub or a community centered around student entrepreneurs that are hungry, driven, motivated. And I was so blown away by the concept that that night I'm like, dude, I'm going to college. And I remember telling my mom the next day. She started crying. Like, it was so unexpected and life-changing. I remember like getting that rush like through my body, like this is what I'm meant to be doing this next chapter of my life. So I saved up and started school the next year. Wasn't planning on getting a degree. It was like 1-2 classes. I was there for Lassonde, the people, the community, the programs, and I got involved in their student leadership programs over the years, and was able to accelerate within them to where scholarship became available to a point to where it's like, dude, if I don't pursue a degree, if I don't finish a degree, like I'd be silly. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting my degree, and about if you count it by semesters, it's taken me 6 years.
Right.
But it's the best decision I made in my life, and
Totally.
I am forever grateful for the Lassonde Institute and my time being a student, and so many memories, relationships, and really if I were to like give one takeaway, like college taught me to learn, how to think critically, how to sit down and challenge myself mentally and focus and whatnot. So anyways, that's the snippet of the college experience in the Lausanne Institute, and the best decision I've made in my life. So, yeah.
So what would you say is the biggest learning experience you've had as a DJ?
The biggest learning experience I've had DJing.
Let's say DJ career, running a business, you know, kind of opening up the spectrum for an answer there.
Yeah. Taking in and truly manifesting the wins, the small wins, the big wins. For almost the first half of my DJing, I was having an absolute blast, but I wasn't absorbing the success that we were having. And really, I was undervaluing what we were bringing to the table. And so that, I guess, really was a big pivotal point in my DJing career and live entertainment, from playing around and having fun and, you know, doing some smaller parties to really taking the next step and realizing that, you know, we are very seasoned, knowledgeable entertainers, DJs, that we're providing a lot of value. And so to come full circle on that, noticing the successes and the wins and accepting them and manifesting them and moving forward with them with confidence.
Totally.
Is really, I guess you could say, the biggest like eye-opening learning experience.
Yeah. So if you were to give, here in the years 2021, if you were to give, you know, somebody who just downloaded Virtual DJ and picked up a Newmark controller from Guitar Center, you know, a word of advice, what would you say? Some, or in other words, a beginner DJ, somebody who's looking to get started.
I mean, first off, start with fun. Like, if you're not having fun, then what are you doing? But I'd encourage you to look at your goals. You know, is this a bedroom DJ? Is this a private event DJ? Is this a club DJ? Is this a producing DJ? Look at your goals and see where you want to be, because I think that will dictate the path you choose. But specifically mixing, I challenge that DJ to become proficient and confident in beat matching and learning how to mix, when to mix, and when to mix in the right tracks, come in and come out, and really create a seamless blend. That's something that I put high on the totem pole.
Absolutely.
For DJing. So
I love it, man. And you know, I got one last question for you.
Let's hear it.
And I know a lot of our viewers, our listeners are eager to hear this, but what are your aims for the podcast?
Oh, the podcast. Okay. Yeah. So season 1, it was a little bit more geared towards the company, like a live entertainment. And season 2's taken a little bit of a different change in path, if you will. It is going to be more so focused on my DJing and entrepreneurial journey.
Okay.
Kind of like capturing my own story, but incorporating all the awesome people I met along the way.
I love it.
Like yourself. We're gonna be chopping it up in the next episode. Yeah. Next episode, and all the other amazing DJs and entrepreneurs, people within my community and the sub communities in the entertainment world. So whether that's pulling more from an entrepreneurial perspective, or you're new to DJing, or you are in the event space and you're an expert, hopefully you can find little nuggets or entertainment out of this. But
I love it.
That's the path it's going down. So
I'm excited then. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, Parker, that's all I got for you.
You're done drilling me?
I'm done drilling you, but it's been a pleasure to be able to talk to you, and I hope our viewers and our listeners can be able to get more of a grasp of who DJ Live is, who Parker Andriese is. You know, I feel like, you know, it's been touched on, but we've known each other for a really long time, and I know you've got a lot of value to yourself, and I can't wait for all the viewers and listeners and our fans to be able to benefit from what you have to offer to the podcasting world, to the YouTube world. So
thank you, Jordy.
Of course.
I'm curious, like, was there some stuff in there we chatted about that you didn't know about?
I feel like I pretty much, I knew all of it. I mean, I'm sure there was a couple. Okay, for starters, the skateboarding team, no clue about that.
Yeah.
Did not know about that. But Parker and I, we became friends, early on because of our love of Mac Miller. I mean, we put that together, and Parker was like, "You're a fan?" I'm like, "I'm a fan." And I quickly realized how much not of a, I don't know how to properly say this. Parker really showed me of what a true fan is of Mac Miller. But we've always shared that love, and so that was just one of the things I was reminded of today. But I'd say the only thing I didn't know about you was the skate team. Like that's pretty sweet, man.
I'll show you the logo, bro. It's legit.
Oh, I can't wait.
Thanks for facilitating it, Jordy.
Of course, man.
And those listening, seriously, thank you. I'm amped because we've got traction with the podcast, but season 2 is going to be that much more rad, and I think we're going to be continuing to season 10, like just down the road. So, Jordy's been the day one, and we just connect on so many different levels, and so that's why I think it was appropriate to have J Baby in the house facilitating
Appreciate
this.
it.
And we'll get to know Jordan a little bit more in the next episode.
Stay tuned.
But that's it. That's a wrap for episode 17, 18 of Behind the Energy Podcast.
Season 2.
Jordan Johnson, Parker Andriese. Peace out.